everybody. My name is Lucette Lagunas. Welcome back to my week 3 presentation for MPA 594. This week we will be discussing themes and applying theories to theme. So let's get started. For many years, public community services departments have offered the idea of fun, affordable services to the community while also being inexpensive and many times even free. But recently it has become more of an issue to find staff to put on these events. Currently, the Parks and Community Service Department is having trouble retaining staff, finding quality staff, and staff that is efficient and willing to grow within an organization. In order for the Community Service Department to improve on staff retention, 3 things need to change. Structure, which is the need for that clear hierarchy of command, management, so understanding rules, regulations, but also understanding the needs of the staff in order to better manage them is also really important. And the third would be efficiency, understanding that one best way to train, and also finding that one best solution to dealing with any type of problem that might come in with an agency is really important to tackle staff retention. When speaking about structure, it is really important to bring up Luther Gulick's idea of the functions of management. This is more than just the idea of management. It is a structure. It is the concept of taking those 7 functions of major activities and duties that an executive should be doing in order to maintain a proper structure within a department. POSCORP is the acronym that represents planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting, but it is also the foundation of understanding and shaping an environment within the organization. When speaking about structure, it is almost inevitable to speak about Frederick Taylor, just because he was so invested in finding that one way to break down tasks, which is one of the reasons that the department is currently struggling. There is no clear breakdown of what it is expected of the staff. They have been asked to wear multiple hats, jumping from assisting in community service, public works, filling for HR, and sometimes stepping in for counsel. Many times, staff is completing or attempting to complete so many tasks at once that they become inefficient, not finishing any one task completely before moving on to the next. When talking about restructuring, it is also important to speak about some of the principles of management that Henry Fayol had in mind. Some of those being division of labor and being paid enough. Many of these staff are part-time career employees. So although they are on a path to full-time employment, they need to prove themselves before. And it can be a long journey that they are on. And not having a clear division of labor when they're expected to do so much can be overwhelming, especially when they lack authority and hierarchy as well. Max Weber, when speaking about the structure of the organization, mentioned that a well-defined hierarchy of command and work specialization are key in holding staff accountable. And when restructuring, these are some of the things that need to be kept in mind. When speaking about staff retention, management is a key word. And because we are working in a department where it is a lot of fun and a lot of interacting with the public, it is important to rethink the structure of leadership or the structure of management. That is why in this department, or Parks and Community Services, Mary Parker Follett's transformational leadership would be a key way of managing. The need for those reciprocal relationships and understanding that there can always be a switch in roles or there can always be shared power is really important in this department, especially when there is so much expectation on the staff. So if we are expecting so much, then we should be managing the same way. We should be managing in a way where we are believing in the staff. And that is why Mary Parker Follett's idea of power with rather than power over and then power sharing is so important to restructuring and making sure that management is innovative. And that is why Elton Mayo's idea that if we are being watched, we change our behavior is a little bit progressive, just because he mentions that people's work performance is dependent on both social relationships and job content. And that is actually really important when thinking about managing somebody and thinking that in order to have the biggest impact on them early on, excuse me, they definitely need to be watched or walked through. Don't think that they necessarily need to be managed in the way that is very stern or constantly hovering over them, but definitely watching them and making sure that tasks are done in a certain way early on is crucial to the development of the staff, and it makes them have a sense of responsibility as well. They're responsible to complete a task efficiently, correctly, and knowing that they are being observed, like Mayo mentioned, might be that extra motivation needed. In Functions of the Executive, Chester Barnard mentioned communication and informal processes, and followed with 7 essential rules. And they all revolved around communication and the importance of staff knowing when to communicate, how to communicate, what lines of communication to use. And I think that is one of the most important things about management as well. Another theorist that also had a very interesting take on management was Charles Lindblom. He mentioned that things happen slowly and focused on the idea of incrementalism, and policy change is evolutionary, not revolutionary, which is really important when thinking about management. There is not going to be a clear change overnight, and we are not going to hold on to staff that has been thinking about leaving. These are going to be little changes that are going to be applied through management little by little, and although the effects will be positive, they might not be overnight sensations. So having that idea in the back of a manager's mind is really important to keep motivation for management as well. The last thing that we will tackle in order for staff retention to change will be efficiency. Obviously, staff is feeling the need for change, and Frederick Taylor really focused on efficiency during the Industrial Revolution. Industry, which is work, and revolution, which equals change. So obviously right now we need a revolutionary change, and in order for that to happen, we need efficiency as well. And in the classical management theory, he takes a very micro approach. He focuses on every single small aspect of applying science to the work. There is a lot of time and motion studies. And the overall goal of Taylor is to reduce the amount of time that staff spends on tasks, to just standardize each step and do all tasks one way or the new way. So in order to reach efficiency, management in PCSD definitely needs to take an approach and break down each task. See what is the one best way for that agency to plan an event? What is the one best way for the agency to let staff go over to another department and train there? What is the one best way to train staff? What is the one best way to accomplish every single task? And that is essentially what Frederick Taylor was trying to achieve with the scientific management and classical management theory. When speaking about efficiency, we also need to speak about Henry Fayol, because he takes that middle approach to efficiency and management as well. By being prepared and having things planned out, organized, knowing how to command and coordinate and control the staff's activities, then you're ready to efficiently tackle the new challenges that will come with restructuring, and things will be done in a much more efficient manner. And then we have Max Weber, who takes a big picture bureaucratic approach to efficiency. He believed that clear rules should govern performance, and in all honesty, his idea of standardized guidelines determining the hiring and firing process ensures that staff understands what is expected, when it's expected, how it's expected, creating that centralized authority, and then also maintaining that separation between personal and professional, and making sure that staff understands that when management is assigning a task or wanting them to learn something or change something, it is not anything personal. It is in the sake of efficiency. So that is my presentation for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know it ran a little bit long, but I hope that I will see you guys next week.